I had a lot of meetings that I would go to, and I always told people that I was not a politician, all right? Unfortunately, I read the dictionary and looked up politician, and I was like, oh great, I am one. But when I ran, you know, I know a lot of people out here in the audience, and a lot of you just know me from being up here, but don't know me from what I've done in the past. You know, I spent almost 27, 28 years in law enforcement in this community, and you know, when I did my job, my goal was to treat everybody equally, fairly, and that's how I did law enforcement. It got me through almost 28 years of only getting hit twice out there in the public, because people kind of respected that. Even the ones that I was chasing, we had a chat afterwards, and they were courteous to me, and it's just the way I treated people. You know, I talk about opinion, and Miss Barrett came up here and talked about opinions, and honestly, everybody has an opinion. And I have an opinion. I have an opinion on the president. I have an opinion on Democrats. I have an opinion on this meeting, and we all do. And I mentioned this before. You know, I don't judge people on their opinions. I judge people on, you know, typically facts, how they treat people, and that's how I typically try to base my decisions on things. I have a very hard time changing people's opinions. And if you've seen the meetings over the last 3 years, I've always told people, hey, if you want to talk about something, let's get together and we'll talk about it. Because that's really the only way you get things accomplished. When this first came about, you know, and the other commissioners up here, they had their own opinions. You know, people might not think it was done properly, people might think it does. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the other commissioners think or thought of at the time, you know. But I will tell you, you know, to me, you gotta figure out and get past people's opinions sometimes to try to make things work. And some of those emails, I mean, I had some emails, people that don't even know me calling me Nazis, all right? And the other commissioners had the same things. I have, in the last 30 days, had more emails with 4-letter words than I've heard in my whole career in 28 years of law enforcement and about 24 years in military. You know, that's the thing I don't appreciate. When people say that, I will have a discussion with anybody in reference any subject out there, and I might believe you, even though our opinions are different, but we have those conversations, and that to me, what was lacking over the last 30 days. And that's kind of the reason why I brought this back here, because number one, the first thing for me is listen to citizens of this community, all right? We got a lot of emails from other people in other states and other countries that were kind of on a, I don't know, just a quick cut and paste type thing that they self-generate. I'm not really concerned about those. I'm concerned about the citizens from this county, and I'm glad you all showed up here. I'm glad, honestly, you were very respectful for everybody. A few little bumps in the road there, but I appreciate everybody in this room being courteous. I mean, that's what it's about. And we're gonna, you know, the commissioners are gonna be up here and talking. We're gonna look at the facts. I mean, if you read the agenda item, there's some facts in there. I've had a lot of conversations with our director of libraries, or I will mention his name, Eric. I've had conversations with friends of the library. I've had conversations with citizens. I've sent emails back and forth. That's what we do as commissioners. I like looking at the facts. I spent many years being a detective, law enforcement. You look at those factual information things, and sometimes you kind of bypass the opinions, because in law enforcement, that's not what you look for. You're looking for factual information, and I do that quite a bit. So, you know, that's how I look on this. We're going to have a discussion. I might change my view on some of these things that we've talked about. Just because, oh, and I'll make one other comment too, and I'll move on to Commissioner Smith. But Mike Wright, who sits out there in the back corner over there, since day one of me taking office here, he's come to me a couple times and said, hey, how are you going to vote? And he'll probably nod his head back there, and I've always told him, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to vote until the last person comes up to this microphone and give me their opinion. Because those opinions are something that, you know, their information that they have might change my mind. So, you know, I constantly do that because I think it's really important for us to listen to the community. So that's kind of how this brought up, and like I said, I appreciate you all being courteous, and you know, I think it turned out really well, so thank you. Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, at that meeting, I came out and I made a statement, and it became a headline in the Tampa Bay Times. Why the heck would we pay for something like that? I made one mistake. I didn't follow it up with the subsequent comment. When you can get every single topic that you need to get online for free. So every morning, on average, from 6:30 to 7:30, I get on and I start reading. Actually, I don't use a tablet, I don't use a computer, I use my cell phone. I go to my Google feed, or sometimes I'll just search the topic of the day. So it's funny because the very next morning, as I'm drinking my coffee and not having known what was said by my peers, I was reading a New York Times article online for free in reference to the California wildfires. So it's not like it's not available, just not everything's available. If you go right now and look online, you can find, as an example, the Trump impeachment. The Guardian currently feeds live. The New York News, or NBC News, live. CNN, live. Washington Post, the newspaper, live. And all this can be found on the smartphones. And it's funny because almost everybody came up here probably has a smartphone. Now I support Eric, and I always have, because the libraries that I grew up with was to provide access when access was not available. I went to the library as a kid because I couldn't get all those books. Because I couldn't interact with other people that wanted to read up on subjects. The idea of the need for the library system to purchase a subscription to give specific portals of information, because there's that view, and maybe even get other subscriptions so you can get other views, is no longer needed. It's not the information dirt road, it's an information superhighway. 1 trillion bytes of information are put on the internet every single day. 1 trillion. And I spend an entire hour every weekday morning reading the news. And do I read just one? Absolutely not. I go down and I read comments from the Huffington Post, Fox News, Washington Post, Washington Times. Whatever happens to be of the topic of the day that I get started on, I research what others say. You say, well, you know, Jimmy, maybe it's because you're political lean that you don't think that we should expand into the digital age. Although, the one who constantly reads news through the digital platform, I also subscribe to the Democratic Party's newsletters. Democratic. You know, the Republicans, whatever. And some of the people that I go to for advice the most are people who do not agree with me because I don't live in an echo chamber. But my decision and the statement I made is still concrete. I've asked people, what topic? Not what news portal. What topic is inaccessible through the internet? What topic can't you find more than one view on through the internet? Already unpaid for. I strongly support the library. Matter of fact, when Eric came up and talked about the libraries during the budget process, I wanted him to keep them open longer. I even suggested ways for him to raise money so he could do more things with the library, not less. But I've yet to find a cause to pay for something that covers topics in the news that you can't already find someplace else for free. If our budget is so wonderful and so great that we can spend money on stuff that you can get for free, maybe we need to think our budget. And if it's about access, guess what? Somebody beat us to it. Matter of fact, this is my concern when I was a state representative years ago, that because of this and the access this provides, people won't be coming to the library. And Eric and I discussed this years ago. I am still very concerned because the homework the lady was talking about doing with the daughters or sons, if they would have had that ability on their cell phones, they could have done the report on Sunday night and not even concerned or thought about going to the library. Not even had the wish to go to the library. but now it's at tip of your fingers. Matter of fact, you can walk down the street and you see kids doing this, and be online. There's been nothing demonstrated that there is a lack of access. There is no lack of access to information. There is no lack of knowledge, except when you don't have access through the internet. Off the stagecoach, there's homes that currently don't have internet access. There are students that currently can't get the internet at home to do their homework. That's why we have libraries. So I will continue to support Eric. I will continue to find ways to get him more money and keep more hours. But I will not support providing additional access when access is already available for free. So when it comes time for the motion and the vote, or the motion for the vote on the motion, I will be voting no. But if you can change your motion to take that money and convert it back into additional funds for things to be paid for within the library, I will strongly support it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very, very interesting situation. As I sit here and listen to it, you know, I think what's gonna happen is there's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna change anything. I'm sorry, you know, I think I was criticized because I defended what I said. So therefore, I was criticized for defending what I said because they didn't want me to explain my vote. And then if I wouldn't have, then I would have been accused of being wrong because then I would have been told, see, you can't defend what you said. So, you know, it's kind of a box you pay us into. And again, I just want to do a little preface here and say, the motion was to get the digital in place of the print version. And that led to being called political, grandstanding, cheap shots, no brains, you know, arrogant, dumbed down, censorship, Saturday Night Live, and which had nothing to do with the discussion. Some of the folks actually got up and spoke to what the motion was, so I appreciate that. We were told we're a laughing stock because of what we did, and I still come back and say it's the media. I mean, look what's here today. Do you think they'll report how many homeless people were taken off the street that we heard earlier in Citrus County? You're not gonna hear about that. You're not gonna hear about the good things that happen in Citrus County. You're gonna hear we're a laughing stock because, oh my, we actually said out loud that we supported the President of the United States. So therefore, we're probably a laughing stock. Well, that's my opinion. And everybody said free speech unless we disagree with you, and then you don't have the right to free speech. You know, everybody should be tolerated unless it's you, Commissioner Kitchen, and we don't have to tolerate your position because we disagree with it. As I'll point out, a few folks that already got up and left as soon as I started to talk. So let me back up, and I just want to say a couple things. Just because you say it over and over again doesn't make it true. Okay, so let's get a couple things out on the table. 3 times at least we were told that we're nonpartisan. We are not. Okay, everybody got up and said and wrote us emails and said you're nonpartisan, and it's that way for a reason. No, we're partisan. Every one of us up here ran as Republicans. Okay, so those of you that still think, you know, that that's the case, it's not. The other one, people said it's in the budget. It's not your job, leave it alone. Who do you think sets the library budget? Okay, county commissioners set the tax rate. Okay, it's this year, it's .3217. How many of you knew that? Right? Well, it's not about the money. You know, it's not about the money. You keep saying it's about the money. It is about the money. Okay, and you shake your head so you know you can read my mind, and you're questioning my motives. My motive all along was I said it's about the money. And I'll give you a couple of examples here. We talk a lot about supporting our library. Well, talk is cheap, okay? But this board last year, the library budget was $2,922,266 at a 3.3217 millage rate. The library, we did not hold the rollback. We allowed that millage rate to stay the same, which means the library fund went from 2.9 million to 3.2 million, okay? So we put our money where our mouth is. We increased the library budget. But did you know that the library has to shut down on Saturdays in 2 of the locations? Okay, so would it not make more sense to worry about having the library open for more hours than it would to continue to spend money on things, as Commissioner Smith said, that's already available for free? Okay, so it is our responsibility, and here's the big difference, folks. We do appreciate it. I mean, if some of the comments were very, you know, I'd call them borderline, but that's your right to say that. At least people weren't booing and yelling and, you know. Remember last meeting, the chairman almost had the deputies come in and remove me. So that, I don't care what you say, that's not the way you conduct business. Today, you all were very nice and polite, I appreciate it very much. But, so let's just come back to the money situation. That's almost a 3% increase, but yet we had to cut back hours in our library. So really, I'm a big fan of the library, we all are, we support it. It's not about censorship. Everybody keeps saying censorship. Here's what I say, if the New York Times wants to be in the Citrus County Library, let them donate. Hear that, New York Times, America? You know? If that's the issue, let them donate it, because if it's not about the money, we're not saying you can't be in the library, we're just saying we're not forcing our taxpayers to pay for something. That's all we're saying, okay? Here's something else to consider. When I ran for election, people asked me, what is your political view on this, and this, and this? And overwhelmingly, they wanted to know, are you a conservative or are you liberal? And I told them, I'm a conservative, this is why, this is what I stand for. The last election, the results were, I received 48,645 votes, which was 71% of the people that voted, okay? They voted for me because I made them a promise. My promise was I'm a conservative, particularly when it comes to fiscal matters. And I have a 5-year record to prove that. So any of you that says it's not about the money, haven't ever watched the county commission meeting, you don't know the way I stand on fiscal issues. So, well, I'm just trying to get the record straight here. So what it's gonna come down to is, all I have heard from the people who live here, and they weren't calling me a Nazi, weren't telling me they wished I was dead. And what was my crime again? I supported the President of the United States. That was my big crime, okay? Because I said, I'm gonna pay money for something that we already have, and I support the President. Okay, so, I'm not backing off that. I'm not apologizing. People said you should apologize. I should apologize because you don't like my opinion, okay? But yet, nobody asked you to apologize for your opinion. But here's the difference, folks. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, okay? Citizens of Citrus County elect 5 county commissioners who are responsible. Okay? Everybody has an opinion. You elect us and you give us the responsibility to carry out your wishes. As far as I'm concerned, I made a promise to 71% of the people in Citrus County that this is what I was going to do, and I have not backed away. You might not agree with me, and that's your right to disagree with me, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I agree with you that this is censorship, because citizens say, I don't care what people read, let them read what they want. I just don't want to pay for it. Okay? I don't think that's a big thing to say. Somebody else said, I use this word, don't force me to pay for something that people won't pay for themselves. I thought that was excellent. And also, don't make me underwrite other people's wants, and that's the other issue. So, let me come back to this and say, it's not just the Times. What I'm hearing from my constituents, it's all the papers, okay? People are saying, if you want to read the Chronicle, why don't you get a subscription to the Chronicle? Why does the taxpayers have to pay for you to go to the library and read the Chronicle when you won't pay for it yourself? That's the overwhelming response I'm getting from my citizens. It's not about the New York Times. It could be the Chronicle, it could be anything else. I've gotten emails like all the commissioners have. I just want to be real brief, Mr. Chair, and share a couple. One said this: please exercise your conservative oversight over our taxes. That's it. Okay? So it wasn't, we hate you, we love you, or whatever. Somebody else, and I want to say this too, because there's been so much press about the negative. I'm sure the other commissioners have received it as well. I've received some really wonderful, encouraging emails. You don't think about this, but other than the visiting media, we are televised live. And people say, I got this one from this person that said, I watch all your meetings, and I really appreciate the work you do because you listen, you're open-minded. And they never said they agreed with me or didn't agree with me. They just said, we appreciate your job and you listen to everything. And that's really what it has to come down to. So, overwhelming. Here's my other one. I think that we should buy the Times as long as you buy this paper for me and that paper for me. And that's been the overriding thing, is that if you're you're gonna do one paper, you have to do them all. And I don't wanna pick on the library, because we just talked about, what a great job they do and they do. But keep this in mind, folks, the library, we set the budget, we appoint the members of the library advisory board, and they are an advisory board. So don't say it's their money, they get to decide how to spend it. We approve the budget every year. We might tell the administrator, we're gonna approve 15 cars for you to buy this year, but he can't buy a single one until he comes back and asks each individual time, I'm ready to buy that car. And we say, do you really still need it? Do you really still, we question every dollar. And that's why Citrus County is not going over the fiscal cliff the way it was 5 years ago. That might not like it. Other people say, spend the money, especially the Chronicle. Chronicle says, spend the money, that's their answer for everything. Because, everybody likes to spend other people's money. And here's the difference. Every time you listen to somebody that says, I don't care what you read, I just don't wanna pay for it, I think that's the bottom line. So let's just be clear, the commissioners are responsible for the library, just like they are for parks and everything else. And I must comment on this too, the article, the gentleman got up and actually used the word hogwash about the article about tourism. That was right on. When was the last time anybody went someplace and checked on the county commission how they voted before they went someplace? So, again, 10 people supposedly said they're not coming here after 500,000. I don't think the manatees vote on the New York Times and people come here and see the manatees. I think manatees are truly non-partisan, so I think we can probably agree to that. So, my long-winded answer is, Mr. Chairman, is I'm not gonna support this motion for all those reasons. I said I wouldn't back down an inch. I stand by that because my point was the same as Commissioner Smith's. We don't need to be spending this money on this. And again, I don't want to make these knee-jerk reactions. I think there's a need to readdress the library and the library budget. And if there's needs there, I would rather see it refocused on regaining the hours of operation of the library. Mr. Smith has mentioned some other areas he'd like to see. I'm not gonna vote on doing anything until I see a comprehensive full plan in front of me that addresses all these issues. So we don't spend 4 more hours every time we look at one issue or whatever, we can do it all at one time. Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I will start with, something that I should have done on the 24th, and, ask if you think that it would be beneficial to hear from Mr. Head. I think that resetting that discussion, bringing Mr. Head up here at that time, asking questions, getting some information from him, I don't know if there would have been a different outcome or not, but given that he was in the room, that was something that I wished, in retrospect, that I wish I would have done. So anyway, I'll put that out there. I'll tell you why I decided to make this motion, and my motion, and I will support it. I'll tell you, first of all, I do not support the New York Times. I've never read the New York Times. I have no interest in reading the New York Times. I do read the Chronicle every day. I read most of the St. Pete Times just about every day. I figure our local paper, our regional paper, they have my interest. I want to find out what they have to say. And I don't always agree with what either one of them have to say. But in a conversation that I had with Eric last Friday, he told me at that time that about 2 years ago, the libraries had done away with VHS tapes. And I didn't ask which ones, it really didn't matter. Which ones they carried, which ones were getting checked out, which ones, whatever, it didn't matter to me. He also told me that we had, that library card holders had checked out roughly 90,000 ebooks, and that was something that Randy had shared with me as well. I didn't ask which ones. I don't really care. I don't know what books that we're buying that are ebooks, rather than buying hardcover books. So the content of what was being switched over from an older platform, an older method of delivering that same information to a newer platform, a new digital platform or electronic platform, showed me that they had made the decision to move forward with the times, not the New York Times, but the years, and have more digital access. And I asked how that, if ultimately, if this passed, how a library cardholder would access the Times, and if I understood properly, what happens is a library cardholder logs into the county library system where, if you choose, you can download an ebook, you can check it out, and it goes away after so long. But once they go through the library's website, that right now, this would be the first newspaper that would be electronic. If they decided to read that one, then they would click on that one and they could read that. Down the road, once the Wall Street Journal or USA Today or other national papers or regional or local papers decided to offer this same format, then they could enter those into there as well, so that library cardholders could select whatever particular newspaper that they wanted to read online. And that is something that I would personally use to go in if I read the Chronicle electronically, and certainly if I had the same Times electronically, I would read that too, but I don't. So the idea of changing the way that we provide access to the New York Times, I don't know that anybody, I don't know that we've advocated pulling the New York Times out of the libraries, but rather we're looking at if this particular newspaper is now offering a format that our library director has decided this is a good idea to go down this road. I'm not interested in reading that particular newspaper, but right now we're paying $3,000 for it, or roughly $3,000. If we change to the digital format, that price, that cost to the library drops down to $2,700. I would not support a subscription to any of the newspapers that's $5,600 or $5,700. That seems excessive to me. But going from the cost of the $3,000 down to $2,700, I would support that. Now, if that leaves $3,000 in the library's budget to do something else with, other resources, or putting it towards more staff hours or more operating hours for the library, things like that, I would trust Eric and his staff to make those decisions on how they think that can best be used. I have no idea. I haven't asked him if there's any time frame for when other newspapers might consider or may be ready to go with such a larger platform. But at that time, there would be money available for them to do that, and then stop paper subscription at that time, which would result in additional savings. So I am going to support the motion that I made, again, not because I have any interest in clicking on a button to read the New York Times, but I do support, as I know that all of us have expressed our support for Eric, and I think it was proper to question the expense. In fact, one of the interviews that I had, I don't know if that particular piece aired, but I said at that time that I thought it was appropriate that Commissioner Kitchen questioned the expense. We were already spending $3,000 on the paper edition, and now we're gonna spend another $2,700. I think that's our job, to question those things and air it out. So I will support, the change. I would not support the two of them together. Changing from digital, from paper to digital, that's something that I would support. Again, certainly if there's any additional, information that you think that, would add to the conversation, I would encourage inviting Mr. Head up to answer those questions.
Just real quick. I did talk to Director Head, and he was willing to come up. I talked to him before the meeting, so once I'm back to my input, I'll ask him if he wants to make any statements. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I can appreciate everybody's opinion today, and I can appreciate everybody sitting very patiently and waiting to come up and give their opinion. Unfortunately, you have wants and you have needs. Okay, needs are paving roads, needs are infrastructure, needs are utilities, needs are fire, needs are police, okay? Those are the needs in our community. Then you have wants. That's the New York Times, okay? And Eric Head knows, the library system knows, I support them dearly. Commissioner Kitchen and Commissioner Smith are dead on. I could pick this phone up right now and bring up Google News, Washington Post, LA Times, New York Times, okay? I can read anything I want right here on this phone or this computer at any time I want. Shake your head all you want. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not back in the corner. You have needs and you have wants. This is a want. I'm not supporting it. I'm not backing down. I agree that we shouldn't really fund any papers. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. Citrus County Chronicle. If you get it delivered to your home, I think my mom's paying $68 or $78 a year. But I can get an online subscription for $21. That's what you need to do. That's what you read what you want, okay? I did a radio interview with 99.9. He said we intrigued his mind, so he went and bought a subscription for a month to the paper. New York Times. It's costing him, I think he told me, $1 a day or something like that. Because he wanted to see how much false information was in there. And to his knowledge, that he's already found some false information in there. I mean, our local paper writes it all the time. You give them a quote, they never get it right. So now you understand why some of us commissioners won't talk to them. Okay? So the bottom line is, I'm not backing down, I'm not voting for this. It's not the taxpayer's responsibility to pay for your newspaper or what you want to read. If you want to take that money and use ebooks, audiobooks, or why don't you go pay for some children information that we can use in our libraries. Maybe kids that drop out of school that don't want to be in school, we can buy a program for $1,200 to $1,500 a year where they can come into our systems and use our computers to get their